What would you do if the only world you knew crumbled in an instant, leaving you with nothing but a suitcase of memories and a one-way ticket to a place that felt as foreign as the moon? Would you fight the tide of change, clinging to the ghosts of what was, or would you let the current carry you, discovering that even in the vast emptiness of loss, there are hidden pockets of light waiting to guide you home? This is my story, a raw, winding journey from the neon-lit chaos of London to the emerald silence of rural Ireland, where grief was my constant companion, but quiet acts of kindness became my unexpected saviors. It's a tale of a young girl learning that family isn't always the people you're born to, but the ones who choose to hold you through the storm. If narratives like this, of young hearts forging paths through heartache and finding unexpected belonging, touch a chord in you, please subscribe to my channel right now. It helps me reach more souls who might need this reminder that home can be rebuilt, one fragile brick at a time. Like this video if it stirs your emotions, share it with a friend who's ever felt uprooted, and drop a comment below. What's the hardest new beginning you faced, and how did you find your way? Your stories inspire mine, they're the threads that weave us all together. Thank you from the depths of my heart. Now, let's step back to the day the ground shifted beneath me and follow the long, meandering road to a place I never expected to call my own. My name is Aisha. I was 11 years old when the life I knew dissolved like sugar in rain, leaving behind a sticky residue of sorrow that clung to everything I touched. It was the summer of 2014, a season that should have been filled with the carefree abandon of childhood. Long days in the park with my best friend Zara, ice lollies dripping down our chins, and the distant hum of London's buses like a lullaby from the city that raised me. We lived in a cramped but cosy flat in East Ham, a stone's throw from the underground station, where Mum worked as a nurse at Newham General Hospital. The flat was on the 3rd floor of a red brick block built in the 1960s, with peeling wallpaper in the hallway that Mum always promised to fix next payday, and windows that rattled during tube trains' passage. Our home smelled of cumin and cardamom from her curries, and the air was thick with the laughter of Bollywood songs playing on the old radio while she chopped onions for dinner. I was her little star, as she called me, with my wild curls tied in ribbons and a backpack full of dog-eared Enid Blyton books. School was my kingdom, a bustling primary in Plaistow where I excelled in maths and English, sketching fantastical maps during recess and trading stickers with Zara under the old oak in the playground. Dad. He was a shadow, a lorry driver who'd left when I was 3, sending birthday cards with £5 notes but no visits. Mum never spoke ill of him, she'd just sigh and say, "Life's a long road, Aisha, some turn off early." We made do with her shifts and Gran's occasional packages from Mumbai, spiced pickles and embroidered dupattas that made me feel connected to a heritage I barely understood. Mum was my universe. She was 34 with laugh lines around her eyes from too many shifts and not enough sleep, but her smile could light the dimmest tube carriage. Evenings were sacred. She'd come home exhausted, feet aching in her sensible clogs, but she'd scoop me up for a hug that smelled of antiseptic and jasmine soap. "How was my star's day?" she'd ask, stirring dal over the hob while I recounted playground dramas or maths triumphs. We'd eat cross-legged on the living room rug, Whiskers, our ginger tomcat, weaving between our legs, begging for scraps. Bedtime was her masterpiece. Stories of brave girls like me, conquering jungles or solving mysteries, her voice a soothing cadence that chased away nightmares. "You're stronger than you know," she'd whisper, kissing my forehead. "Tomorrow's yours to conquer." Weekends were adventures. Markets in Green Street for samosas and bangles, Hyde Park picnics with Zara's family, or Gran's video calls where she'd teach me Hindi phrases like "Dil si" from the heart. Life wasn't lavish, money tight, the flat drafty in winter, but it was ours, woven with love's unbreakable threads. That fragile tapestry tore on a drizzly Tuesday in July. I was midway through a geography project on volcanoes, glue stick in hand, when the landline rang, a rarity in our mobile world. Mum was on a late shift, so I answered, expecting Gran. Instead, PC Patel's voice, steady but laced with regret. Aisha, this is the police. Is there an adult there? Gran arrived 20 minutes later, her sari dishevelled, face ashen. Beta, she choked, pulling me close. Mum's car, a battered Ford Fiesta she'd saved 2 years for, had been T-boned by a lorry on the A13. The driver, texting, ran a light. She swerved to avoid a pedestrian, slamming into a barrier. Instant, they said, no suffering. But the word instant meant nothing to an 11-year-old. It was eternity without her laugh, her hugs, her good-night star. The funeral was a blur. Chapel in East Ham, rain pattering on the roof like impatient fingers, neighbours in black saris and suits murmuring condolences. Zara clung to me sobbing, Gran held us both, whispering prayers in Hindi. Dad, a telegram from Manchester, deepest sympathies, no appearance. Social services swooped in, no immediate family in London, Gran too frail at 68 for full-time care. Temporary placement, the caseworker said, a clipboard woman with kind eyes but firm voice. Your Uncle Raj in Ireland, your mum's brother, he's agreed to take you. Uncle Raj, Mum mentioned him once, a farmer in the wilds of County Kerry, estranged after a family row over Dad's departure. He's gruff, she'd said, but solid as oak. Sheep and silence, that's his world. No photos, no calls, but options were nil. Gran's flat in Wembley was too small, her health too poor. A week later, suitcase packed, Mum's scarf, favourite books, whiskers to Zara's. Heartbreaking goodbye, I boarded a flight to Shannon, Gran's tearful hug at security. Be brave, Beta, call every day. The plane was a tin can rattling over the Irish Sea, clouds below like rumpled bedsheets. Landing jarred me awake. Shannon was tiny, green fields stretching to the horizon, air crisp with peat and salt. Uncle Raj waited at arrivals, mid-40s, broad as a barn door, with a weathered face under a tweed cap, beard salt and pepper, eyes green as the hills but shadowed. Aisha, he rumbled, accent thick as stew, extending a rough hand. No embrace, just a nod as he hefted my bag. The drive was 3 hours, winding roads through bogs and stone walls, sheep bleating in pastures, radio crackling with fiddles and Gaelic. Silence reigned, I traced raindrops on the window, he gripped the wheel. Farms remote, he grunted finally. No shops nearby, you'll help out. Help. I nodded, throat tight. The farm emerged, whitewashed cottage on a hill, slate roof mossy, outbuildings sagging, fields rolling to the Atlantic. Goats bleated, a collie named Fergus barked from the yard, wind whistling through gorse bushes. Inside, flagstones cold, peat fire smoking, kitchen sparse with an Aga stove and mismatched chairs. Your room's up, he said, pointing to a ladder stair. The space was minuscule, single bed with wool blanket, wardrobe of knotty pine, window framing grey sea. Bath shared. Meals at table. Dinner, soda, bread and cheese, eaten in quiet. School bus at 7:45, he added. Village is small, mind your manners. I nodded, tears pricking. No questions about Mum, no comfort, just facts like I was a new farmhand. Nights were torment, wind howling like banshees, bed icy despite hot water bottle, dreams of Mum's voice calling star. Grief ambushed in waves, sobs into pillow, clutching her scarf that still smelled of lavender. School was Excel, 1 room in Dingle, 20 kids total, accents impenetrable as fog. London girl, they whispered, eyeing my trainers and anorak. Lessons, Irish history, famines, rebels, Gaeilge phrases I bungled, maths in chalk dust. Lunch, jam sandwiches on the steps, rain lashing. Bus home, stare at passing cliffs, Raj waiting with Fergus. Chores awaited, feed goats, they buted my legs, collect eggs, hens pecked, muck stables, smell like hell. Raj taught curtly, firm grip, steady pull. His silences mirrored mine, but glimmers emerged. fair effort after a full pail, shared oatcake by fire. Months crawled, winter clamped, snow blanketing moors, fires roaring, isolation gnawing. Christmas, Raj felled a pine, we strung wool garlands, mine lopsided. Dinner, goose and potatoes, his toast to Alara, fierce lass. Stories trickled, their Dublin youth, her nursing dreams, his farm inheritance after parents' crash. Miss her fire, he admitted, I cried, he offered a handkerchief, awkward pat. Spring lambs, tiny, wobbly, me bottle feeding. School friends thawed, Sean sharing conkers, Siobhan braiding my hair. Raj softened, evenings of folklore by peat fire, his tailies of puka and fairies making shadows dance. Climax, gale floods fields, sheep lost. Despair, we search dawn dusk, finding most. One night firelit I shatter, miss mum, afraid you'll tire of me. He hugs first, your kin Aisha, stay. Walls fall, we share mum's letters, his regrets. Resolution, school play, I act Bridget, Raj cheers loudest. Gran visits, co-guardianship formalized. Epilogue, 18 now, uni-bound but rooted. You mended us, I tell Raj. We mended each other. If moved, subscribe, like, share, comment your new home story. Maury soon.